Imagine this. You're standing in the twilight of a quiet suburban street, the air thick with the scent of damp earth and fading jasmine from the gardens around you. The sun has just dipped below the horizon, and the faint buzz of cicadas hums softly, interrupted only by the distant bark of a dog. You can almost hear the pulse of the neighborhood. Lives carrying on, secrets buried just beneath the surface. Now, imagine you are inside the modest, weathered house at the end of the street, the house where everything changed. Welcome. Before we dive in, if you're drawn to stories where truth twists like smoke in the air, where justice feels like a fragile thread, hit subscribe and join us. Because this story, it's about betrayal, so deep it almost breaks the soul. This is the story of Daniel Harper and the wife everyone thought was dead. Daniel Harper was a man who had everything going for him, or so it seemed. Tall, with a sharp jawline softened by lines of worry, Daniel carried himself with a quiet confidence that made people trust him. A successful local contractor, he had a reputation for being dependable, hardworking, the kind of man who'd lend a hand without asking for anything in return. Yet beneath the steady exterior lay a man wrestling with demons no one could see. His wife, Emily Harper, was a light that drew everyone in, a bright, kind-hearted schoolteacher with a laugh that could melt the iciest hearts. She loved her work with children, her garden, and had an artist soul that she expressed through watercolors and delicate sketches she kept tucked away in a battered journal. Emily's warmth was a balance to Daniel's quiet storms, and their marriage to the outside world seemed like the perfect picture of love. But appearances, as you'll soon discover, can be dangerously deceiving. It was a crisp autumn evening in late October when Emily disappeared. The kind of night where the chill whispers through the trees and the stars blink coldly overhead. She left the house after dinner, promising Daniel she'd be back in time to watch their favorite show. She never came home. At first, the neighborhood murmured with concern. Maybe she's visiting a friend. Some said, maybe she lost track of time. But days turned into weeks, and Emily remained nowhere to be found. Inside Daniel's house, silence grew thick like fog. Friends dropped by, police visited, but Daniel's calm facade barely cracked. One night, sitting alone in the dim glow of the living room, he whispered to himself, "Emily, where are you?" But the only answer was the tick of the clock and the hollow ache in his chest. Neighbors whispered behind closed doors. Some noticed the strange noises at night, soft digging sound from the backyard, when Daniel thought no one was watching. The late-night trips to the hardware store for shovels and heavy-duty plastic sheeting. But no one dared confront him. After all, Daniel was well-liked, the kind of man you'd never suspect. Then came the rumors, whispers that Emily had left him, that maybe the marriage wasn't as perfect as it seemed. Others wondered if something far darker had happened. You might be wondering, how could a loving husband just let his wife vanish? What was Daniel hiding beneath his careful smiles and quiet routine? The police grew restless. No ransom note, no demands, no trace. Yet one thing haunted them, a growing suspicion that Emily's disappearance was no accident. And then, just when the case was beginning to grow cold, a discovery changed everything. Before we move on, pause for a moment. Think about this. How well do we really know the people we love? And how far can betrayal reach before it shatters the world around us? What exactly did Daniel bury in his backyard? And why did Emily's story refuse to stay buried? Stay with me, because this is only the beginning. The morning after Emily vanished, the neighborhood was quiet. Too quiet. The kind of silence that presses against your ears and makes your skin crawl. You stand outside Daniel's house again, but now the backyard calls to you with a different weight, a secret waiting beneath the soil, dark and unforgiving. Detective Marissa Blake had been assigned to the Harper case from the start. She was sharp, relentless, and not one to accept easy answers. The kind of cop who saw shadows in the cracks where others only saw light. Marissa remembered the first time she met Daniel Harper. His calm eyes, his steady voice. "I just want my wife back," he had said so convincingly. But something didn't sit right. That uneasy feeling grew into suspicion as Marissa noticed inconsistencies. Missing receipts, odd smells lingering in the garage, and the backyard's freshly disturbed earth that Daniel brushed off as just some gardening. One chilly morning, Armed with a search warrant and a small team, Marissa stood in Daniel's backyard. The soil was loose, uneven, patches darker than the rest. Daniel watched from the porch, his face unreadable. The first shovelfuls came up heavy and damp. The air smelled of earth and something more metallic underneath. A faint coppery tang that made Marissa's stomach turn. Suddenly, a glint of something hard appeared in the dirt. Emily Harper's wedding ring. The discovery sent shockwaves through the investigation and the town. If Emily's ring was buried here, then what else was hidden beneath that backyard? But when they dug deeper, the soil shifted, as if hiding a terrible truth. Marissa's breath caught when the edge of a hand emerged, a pale, dirt-caked hand reaching out from a grave. Daniel's calm cracked for the first time as the police uncovered what they feared most. But when they finally pulled the body free, there was a terrible, unthinkable shock. It wasn't Emily. You might be asking, if it wasn't Emily, then who was it? And where was she? Daniel refused to answer, his eyes hollow, his voice a whisper. She's gone forever. But Marissa didn't believe him. Something wasn't adding up. In the days that followed, the town grew darker with suspicion. Daniel's carefully built life started to crumble as old neighbors came forward with stories of fights, threats, and secrets buried deeper than the soil. Emily had vanished, but so had pieces of Daniel's story. At night, Marissa sat alone, staring at the case files, wondering who really killed Emily Harper. And more chillingly, was she really dead? Then 7 years passed in silence. No new leads, no answers, no closure. Until one late autumn evening, when the doorbell at Daniel Harper's house rang. He opened the door, and there she was, Emily, standing there cold, shaken, but very much alive. But if Emily was alive, then who was the body in the backyard? And what had Daniel been hiding all these years? Before we continue, ask yourself, how does a woman vanish, only to return years later? Is Daniel a victim or a villain? If you want to uncover the truth, hit that like button, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. What would you do if someone you thought dead showed up at your door? Will Emily forgive, or will she seek revenge? Stay close, because the story is about to take a turn you won't see coming. Picture this. The night is heavy with a biting wind that rustles the dead leaves across the cracked pavement. Inside Daniel Harper's home, the air feels colder than usual, as if the walls themselves are holding their breath. You're there, standing just behind Daniel as he opens the front door. And then you see her, Emily, 7 years older, her eyes shadowed with pain and secrets, but unmistakably alive. For a long moment, neither speaks. Emily's lips tremble. Her voice is barely above a whisper. Daniel, I'm home. Daniel's world tilts on its axis. The man who once wore quiet control like armor now looks lost, a flicker of panic crossing his eyes before he forces a tight smile. Emily, but how? Where have you been? We thought you were gone. Emily's gaze hardens. Gone? You buried me, Daniel. You lied to everyone. You tried to erase me. The air thickens with betrayal. Daniel's throat tightens as memories, dark, tangled memories, crawl to the surface. Inside, Emily's mind races. How could a man she loved kill her, bury her alive, and then live like nothing happened? But something had saved her that night. Rewind 7 years. Emily had awoken buried beneath the cold earth, her breath shallow, hands clawing at the soil above. Panic set in, her fingers scrabbling as the dirt pressing around her. Her mind flickered through fragments of memory. Daniel's voice, angry and desperate, then the crushing weight of betrayal. But a faint scrape above, a noise, something shifted. A voice, soft, distant, reached her ears. Hold on, I'm coming. That night, a stranger passed by the backyard and heard the faint tapping under the ground. A rescue ensued. Emily survived. Now, standing in Daniel's doorway, Emily holds a storm inside her. Why, Daniel? Why did you do it? Daniel's eyes flicker between fear, regret, and something darker. I loved you, he says, voice breaking. But I was scared. Scared you'd leave. Scared everything we built would fall apart. Emily laughs bitterly. Love doesn't bury someone alive. The fragile piece shatters when Daniel's phone buzzes on the counter. A message appears, a name Emily never expected to see. She knows. Emily's eyes narrow. Who knows what, Daniel? Daniel hesitates, then falters. There's someone else. Someone who made sure you stayed gone. You can feel the room closing in as the shadows lengthen. Who is this mysterious figure? What dark forces pulled the strings behind Emily's disappearance? And is Daniel truly repentant, or is there more to his story? The truth lies just beyond the door, waiting to be uncovered. Before we unravel this next layer, hit like if you're hooked. Comment what you think this new secret could be. And subscribe if you want to stay with me through every twist. Because in this story, the darkest secrets are still buried. Imagine the house now, once a quiet refuge. It feels like a cage. Shadows crawl along the walls, and every creak whispers lies long buried. The air is thick with tension, every breath a fragile thread. You watch as Emily and Daniel sit across from each other in the dim kitchen, the weight of unspoken truths pressing down like a storm ready to break. Daniel's hands tremble as he pulls out an old, worn envelope from his jacket pocket. "Emily," he says, voice low, "this is what I found the day after you disappeared." He slides the envelope across the table. Inside are photographs, grainy but clear, images of Emily, taken without her knowledge, photos that show her meeting a man in shadow, exchanging whispered words late at night, a man whose face is blurred, but whose presence is unmistakable. Emily's breath catches. "I never met this man," she says, voice cracking. Daniel nods slowly. "Neither did I, but he's the one who threatened me. Told me if I didn't make you vanish, he'd ruin us both." The room seems to close in. "You're saying this man forced you to bury me alive?" Emily's eyes burn with disbelief. "Or maybe he wanted me out of the way for good." Daniel leans forward, voice dropping to a harsh whisper. "There's more. This man isn't just some stranger. He's closer than we think. Someone with a stake in everything." Emily's heart pounds. Who could want to destroy them? As they speak, the sound of a car pulling up outside slices through the night silence. Daniel stiffens. Emily's eyes dart to window. The headlights bathe the porch in cold light. The doorbell rings. Daniel looks at Emily, the fear in his eyes unmistakable. "Don't open it," he warns. But the door opens anyway. A figure stands there, a woman, elegant, poised, with eyes that cut through the darkness like knives. She smiles, slow, chilling. "Hello, Emily." The air goes cold. Who is this woman? What does she want? And how deep does this web of betrayal go? Before we dive deeper, pause for a moment. What would you do if a stranger arrived claiming to hold the key to your darkest secrets? Comment below your theories, like if you're on the edge of your seat. And make sure to subscribe, because the truth is about to explode. Because some secrets don't just haunt the past, they control the present. The porch light flickers as the stranger steps inside, her heels clicking softly against the floor. Her eyes hold a cold fire, a knowing that unsettles the very air around her. You watch as Emily's jaw tightens, a mixture of fear and fierce determination flashing across her face. "I'm Vivian," the woman says smoothly, her voice like silk hiding steel. "And I've been waiting a long time to meet you." Emily's eyes narrow. "Waiting? Who are you really?" Vivian smiles, but it's not a smile of kindness. "I was the one who made sure you disappeared. The one who held your secret buried underground." A shiver runs down your spine. Emily's breath hitches. "You? Why? What could you possibly want from me?" Vivian steps closer, lowering her voice. "There are things Daniel never told you. Things about your past, about your family, that would change everything." Emily's mind races, the walls she thought she knew crumbling. Daniel stands quietly in the background, watching the confrontation with a haunted expression. Vivian pulls out a folded piece of paper and hands it to Emily. "Look at this," she says. Emily unfolds it slowly. A faded birth certificate with a name she doesn't recognize. A name that suggests her whole life might have been a lie. A storm of questions crashes in Emily's mind. Who was she really? Why was she taken from the life she knew? And what terrible secret was Vivian protecting? Suddenly, the sound of glass breaking shatters the tense moment. All heads turn toward the living room window, where the silhouette of a figure disappears into the night. Daniel rushes to the window, peering out into the darkness. "Who was that?" Emily demands. Daniel's voice is tight with fear. "It's not over. Whoever's trying to keep this secret isn't done with us yet." The house feels colder now, threatening. Outside, the night seems to listen, waiting for the next move. Who is the shadowy figure? What secrets does Emily's past truly hold? And how far will Vivian go to keep the truth hidden? Before we continue, take a moment. Would you want to uncover the truth, even if it means losing everything? Hit like if you're ready to see justice served. Subscribe and comment with your theories, because this story is far from over. Because sometimes the past doesn't just come back, it hunts you. The dawn breaks weakly through grimy windows, casting long shadows across the Harper living room. The air is heavy with tension, like the calm before a violent storm. You stand with Emily and Daniel as a fragile peace shatters under the weight of secrets long kept hidden. Emily clutches a mysterious birth certificate tightly, her knuckles white. "Who am I really?" she asks, voice trembling. Daniel exhales slowly, a bitter edge to his words. "Vivian told me to keep it from you, said you weren't ready. But the truth is worse than anything you could imagine." Vivian watches silently from the corner, her expression unreadable. Daniel takes a deep breath and begins to reveal what he's hidden for years. "Emily, you weren't just a random victim. Your family, they were involved in things, dark things, dangerous people who wanted you out of the picture." Emily's heart pounds as the pieces start to fall apart. "You mean they wanted to erase me? Why?" Daniel nods. "There was a dispute. Money, power, betrayal. Someone powerful wanted control, and you were a threat." Emily's eyes fill with tears, but there's fire too. "If they wanted me gone, why didn't they finish the job?" Vivian steps forward. "Because they underestimated you." Emily looks between Daniel and Vivian, a storm raging inside her. "You mean this whole time I was a pawn? A secret no one wanted revealed." Outside, the sound of a car engine roars to life. Everyone freezes. The front door shakes as someone pounds against it. A desperate, urgent rhythm. Daniel moves to the window and peers out. "It's him," Daniel mutters. "The man who started all this. The one pulling the strings." Emily's blood runs cold. Who is this man? What will he do when he finds out Emily is alive? And can Daniel and Emily survive the coming storm? The pounding at the door grows louder, more frantic. The moment to face the past is here. Who waits on the other side? Friend or foe? Will the truth finally set them free or bury them forever? The pounding at the door is relentless, each thud echoing like a hammer striking steel. The tension in the room is electric, thick enough to choke on. You stand just behind Daniel as he slowly moves toward the door, every muscle tight with fear and anticipation. Emily grips Vivian's hand, the tremor in her fingers betraying her steely resolve. Daniel hesitates, then pulls the door open. Standing in the doorway is a man, tall, broad-shouldered, with eyes like cold steel. His face is shadowed beneath a hood, but the menace in his stance is unmistakable. He steps inside without waiting. "I see you've been busy," he says, voice low and dangerous. Emily's heart races. "Who are you?" she demands. The man's smile is cruel. "Someone who owns your past and your future." He pulls out a small, warm box and places it on the table. Emily opens it to find a collection of photographs. Pictures from her childhood, moments she had long forgotten. But one image stops her cold. A family portrait with face scratched out in dark ink. "You see," the man says, "some stories aren't meant to be told." Daniel's eyes dart between Emily and the stranger. "You don't want this to go any further," the man warns. "For your sake." Emily's mind races. Who is this man? What power does he hold over her life? And what will he do if she refuses to comply? Suddenly, the lights flicker and the phone rings. Daniel answers, his face paling as he listens. "It's worse than we thought," he says, voice trembling. Outside, the faint sound of sirens wails in the distance, getting closer. Who called the police? Is this the beginning of justice? or the end of everything Emily hoped for? And what dark truths will finally be revealed when the sirens arrive? The wail of sirens grows louder, slicing through the thick tension like a knife. Shadows dance on the walls as flashing red and blue lights flood the room through the windows. You stand there with Emily, Daniel, Vivian, and the mysterious man, their faces etched with fear, anger, and secrets about to unravel. The door bursts open and Detective Marissa Blake steps inside, her eyes sharp, her voice commanding. Everyone stay where you are. Emily's heart pounds. After all these years, the moment she's longed for, the reckoning, is finally here. Marissa steps toward the man in the hood. You're under arrest for conspiracy, kidnapping, and attempted murder. The man's face twists into a snarl. But before he can react, a sudden crash comes from the back of the house. Everyone spins around as a shadow slips through a side door, escaping into the dark night. Daniel's knees buckle. He's getting away. Emily's voice is firm, trembling but resolute. We have to stop him. Outside, the chase begins under a sky thick with stars. But somewhere in the darkness, secrets wait. Who was the shadowy figure who fled? What final pieces of the puzzle are still hidden? And can justice truly be served after so much betrayal? As the night swallows the fleeing figure, a sudden call comes through on Marissa's radio. Her eyes widen. It's Emily she's missing. Emily, alive, but now vanished again. Before the final truth can come to light, the story takes one last twist. The night swallows the quiet neighborhood once more. The flashing police lights fade, leaving behind an uneasy silence that feels like a hell breath waiting. You stand outside Daniel's house, now a cage of secrets, as the search for Emily begins anew. Detective Marissa Blake is relentless. She can't have gone far, she says, scanning the darkened streets with a flashlight that cuts through the shadows like a blade. But Emily is gone. No trace. No warning. Just vanished again. Inside, Daniel is a shattered man, guilt and fear tangled in his eyes. I thought this would end, he whispers. Vivian watches from the sidelines, her face unreadable. Maybe some things were never meant to be found, she says quietly, but Marissa isn't convinced. This isn't just about Emily. It's bigger, much bigger. Then, a call comes through, a cryptic message on Marissa's phone. Look closer. The truth is in the past. Emily's disappearance is no accident. Someone wants her hidden, silenced, forever. You wonder, who is behind this new threat? Is Emily in danger, or is she running from something even darker? And how far will Daniel go to save the woman he once betrayed? As the night deepens, a new clue is uncovered, a hidden letter, soaked in time and tears. It reads, "Trust no one, not even me." Before we uncover what this means, the phone rings again. Marissa answers. Her face drains of color. It's happening. They're coming. Who is coming? What danger looms over Emily and those who seek her? And can justice ever truly be served when everyone is hiding something? The dawn breaks slowly over the quiet town, but inside Daniel Harper's house, the storm has only just begun. The air crackles with tension, years of lies, betrayal, and secrets converging in this one moment. You are there, watching as Detective Marissa Blake gathers everyone in the living room, Emily, Daniel, Vivian, and the others who have haunted the story. Marissa's voice is steady but fierce. We have the pieces now. The real story behind Emily's disappearance and what happened in that backyard. She holds up a file thick with evidence. Photos, confessions, and a chilling final message. Emily steps forward, eyes blazing. I trusted people who wanted me gone. I was buried alive, not just by dirt, but by lies. But I survived, and now it's time for justice. Daniel's face is pale, the weight of his actions finally sinking in. I never meant for this to happen. I was scared, but I can't hide anymore. Vivian glances away, shadows flickering across her face. Not all secrets are ready to see the light, she murmurs. Suddenly, a knock sounds at the door. Everyone freezes. Marissa moves slowly to open it. Standing there is a man, a figure from Emily's past, long thought gone. His eyes lock on Emily. "Did you really think it was over?" he says. The room tightens with silence. The door creaks open slowly, revealing the man from Emily's past. A shadow long buried but never forgotten. His eyes burn with a mixture of anger and regret. You watch as Emily's face hardens, her breath steady but fierce. "This ends now," she says, voice steady as steel. The man steps inside. But this time, Emily is no longer the frightened woman buried in the dirt years ago. She stands tall, wiser, stronger, ready to claim her life back. Detective Marissa watches closely, prepared for whatever comes next. Daniel's guilt weighs heavy, but even he can sense this is the moment of reckoning. And then, silence. The man nods slowly. "I never wanted this, but some debts must be paid." Emily meets his gaze without flinching. "Then pay them." But this time, justice will be the judge, not fear. Outside, the first light of dawn spills over the horizon. For Emily, for Daniel, for everyone tangled in this web of betrayal. There will be no easy answers, no neat endings. Only the hard truth that sometimes survival is the only victory. So here the story ends. But the questions linger. How well do we really know the ones we love? And when darkness comes knocking, will you face it or bury it deep underground? Thank you for following Emily's journey. If this story stayed with you, please subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Because every truth deserves to be heard, even the ones that hurt.